I still remember the first time I struggled with this idea of not getting a text back from someone. I was about 15 years old, dating this girl who I really liked. It was my first real girlfriend or proper relationship, and I was very much in love with her, or so I thought. There were times where I would be so excited to get a text from her that as soon as I heard that notification bell ring or I saw my phone light up because I'd gotten a text, I'd literally run and jump from my desk or somewhere across the room onto my bed. And I was just like, yeah, I got a text from her. This is so awesome. And I would immediately reply back. And then as soon as I hit send, I would be expecting and hoping and waiting for a quick response because I mean, she just texted me, right? Then a couple minutes had passed and no text back. And then about 30 minutes passed and no text back. 60 minutes passed, no text back. And it was about, I'd say about the 1 hour mark. Sometimes it's quicker, sometimes it's later. It depends on where you're at with this kind of thing. I would start to get really worried, really anxious. I could feel it in my stomach. It was almost like there would be this twisting, this stabbing, this something going on in my stomach where it became really intense. And I could feel it building up inside of me. And as it started building up, something else that happened at this pretty much at the same time was I'd get all these negative thoughts. Things like, she doesn't want to text you back. She's with someone else. She doesn't want to talk to you anymore. You're boring. You're lame. She's not interested in talking to you. All, like, anything and everything I could think of that really just stabbed in this idea that she didn't want anything to do with me, or she was going to leave me, or she was going to reject me or hurt me, something along those lines. And when these thoughts and these feelings started combining, it sent me into this panic mode. And when I was in this panic mode, it's almost like I wasn't even in control anymore. It's like all I wanted to do was get rid of this fear, this worry, this anxiety. I just needed something. I needed to see from her, from the world, anything that I was actually going to be okay and that the situation was okay. And unfortunately, when I was sent into those panic modes, I would often react in ways that weren't really true to who I was. I would either come across like really clingy or needy, or sometimes I'd even be like accusatory, like, who are you with right now? You're probably texting somebody else or with somebody else or something like that. Regardless of how the reaction came out, one thing was for sure, which was that I wasn't being who I really am. I was acting in a way, or almost seemed like I was being forced to act in a way because of these thoughts and these feelings that just wasn't true to who I really was. I wasn't a clingy and needy person. I wanted to and felt usually like I was a pretty confident person, or at least wanted to feel like a confident person. I didn't want to feel clingy or needy, and I didn't want to feel toxic or unhealthy in the way that I acted. And this would leave me feeling bad about myself. I had no idea why I was handling that situation those ways, and I had no idea where these thoughts or these feelings were coming from. And half the time, the thoughts didn't even make sense. They weren't even rational. There was no evidence to them. But it still pushed me to react in these ways. And that all left me feeling like I was somehow just broken. Like there was just something wrong with me because I didn't know why I was doing it, yet I was still doing it. And that's a terrible place to be in. And if you're in this place, then I get it. And what I want to say, and the point of this video really is I want to point you in a direction to start working on this. Because when I did like a bunch of research and I really started obsessing about how to stop being this way when it came to not getting a text back, and what you'll see in some other videos that I'll post is there's a lot of different ways this shows up and comes up. But I didn't want to be that way. So when I researched and when I did all this learning and understanding about what this was, I came across something called anxious attachment. Well, the attachment styles in general, because what you'll find through my videos in the future is that what I just described, the build up to the actual reaction, that's the same for anxious attachment as well as disorganized attachment. But the point of this video is to tell you to look into those attachment styles. Because if you related to this story I just shared with you, then odds are you are dealing with anxious or disorganized attachment. And what that is, in a very broad or basic sense, is it is a culmination of beliefs and experiences that you've had that cause an insecurity within yourself. And really, if I can hit this home as best as I can, if you ever feel like you're not good enough anyway, I can almost guarantee that you are dealing with one of these attachment styles. And once I had done my research, once I had dug into this topic a whole lot deeper, obviously more challenges came up and more things I had to face and deal with. But as I did, I started becoming more healthy. I started becoming more what they call in attachment styles secure. And it took me about 8 years on my own with researching and implementing these different things. But what I now know for sure and have complete confidence in is myself and my abilities and what I know to be healthy within relationships and what isn't. And now I coach other people to do the same thing. I coach them to go from anxious or disorganized attachment to secure attachment. And on average, it takes people about 3 to 5 years with a therapist to get to a more secure space. Through my understanding, through my experience, through all these different things that I tried, and through creating a framework that I now take people through, I'm able to take them through important challenges, fundamental skills and abilities, understandings, belief changes, so that they can become and feel more secure and confident within themselves in a few months. So really my point of this video is hopefully to help you feel a bit seen and feel a bit heard, because I know what it can be like to be in that space where you don't know where it comes from, you don't know why it's happening, but you feel like there's just something wrong with you. So my biggest message in this is there's nothing wrong with you. There are some important understandings and belief changes that you need to have so that you can really see that. And then there are steps and challenges to face so that you can become more secure, more healthy in your relationships, feel better about yourself, feel more confident about who you are and how you show up in the world. My goal throughout this channel is these first few videos is going to be to create some awareness, which you'll probably see. So my point right now is to show you and to ask you, suggest to you, invite you to dig into the attachment styles and see which one really stands out to you. There's a lot of channels out there about attachment styles, and they dig into sort of the understanding of it, the awareness of it. But what I'm hoping to focus on, because I will share a few videos on the understanding and what it looks like and what it is and what goes into it. But what I really want to focus on this channel is how to actually overcome it. What are the challenges you need to face? What are the steps you need to take? What are the beliefs you need to change? And I'm going to try my best to help you do that, just like I did. So if that sounds good, and if you are genuinely ready to face these challenges and overcome this thing, and work towards becoming more secure in your attachment style and how you show up in relationships and how you show up as yourself, then go ahead and subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on these videos, because I am going to order them in a very specific way to overcome some very important first beliefs, create some first challenges for you to face so that you can work towards really what I feel like has been peace and confidence in my life and my relationships. So if that sounds good, I'll see you in the next videos.